For Pacifica Radio, I'm Christina Onnested. The 14-year-old suspect in a shooting at a Georgia high school that killed 4 people and injured 9 others will remain in custody after his lawyer declined to seek bail at a court hearing this morning. Colt Gray is accused of using a semi-automatic assault-style rifle to kill 2 students and 2 teachers at Appalachia High School in Winder, Georgia. Authorities have not offered any motive or explained how the 14-year-old obtained the gun or got it into the school, but Thursday they arrested his father for allowing his son to have the weapon. Chris Hosey is Georgia's Bureau of Investigation Director.
4 counts of involuntary manslaughter, 2 counts of second-degree murder, and 8 counts of cruelty to children. Mr. Gray, these charges stem from Mr. Gray knowingly allowing his son, Colt, to possess a weapon. Additionally, Colt Gray, that was arrested yesterday for this incident, has now been charged with 4 counts of felony murder. And again, we will continue to work tirelessly to complete this investigation as we move forward.
More details have emerged about the school shooting, including that high school students dragged a shot teacher into a classroom, trying to save her life, and instead watched her die in front of them. The shooting has spurred calls for gun control. Here's Democratic vice presidential candidate Minnesota Governor Tim Walz on the campaign trail.
We believe in the freedom to send our kids to school without being shot dead in the hall.
Republican vice presidential candidate Ohio Senator J.D. Vance Thursday said it was a fact of life and took a different approach.
I don't like this. I don't like to admit this. I don't like that this is a fact of life. But if you are a psycho and you want to make headlines, you realize that our schools are soft targets. And we have got to bolster security at our schools so that a person who walks through the front door, we've got to bolster security so that if a psycho wants to walk through the front door and kill a bunch of children, they're not able to.
The student group March for Our Lives said on social media Republicans have been opening the door for massacres like the tragedy in Georgia. They blocked gun safety laws, made it easier to obtain and carry guns, and prioritized the NRA's money over kids' lives. This isn't freedom. It's a death sentence when we send our kids off to school. The White House is calling for a ban on assault weapons. President Joe Biden also weighed in on gun control while discussing the economy. Both he and Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump shared competing visions for the economy at events Thursday. Christopher Martinez reports.
Before talking about the economy, he took a moment to address the recent mass shooting at a school in Georgia and the issue of gun safety.
Imagine, the only outfit in the world that we can't sue and by law, passed by law, are gun manufacturers. How about if that was the case with big tobacco? What do you think would happen? If we're not able to have sued tobacco, how many more people would be dead now?
As for the economy, Biden talked about the bipartisan infrastructure law, and with that, his $7.3 billion announcement.
The Department of Agriculture is able, from that legislation, to announce $7.3 billion in grants to 16 electrical co-ops nationwide to help rural communities transition to clean, affordable, reliable energy.
Former President Trump, at the Economic Club of New York, discussed immigration as an economic issue, saying that African American and Hispanic jobs are under threat from immigrants, and he made a rather bold claim about the impact.
100% of the net job creation in the past year has gone to illegal migrants. Think of that.
Perhaps Trump's most significant announcement was his plan to create a commission to root out wasteful spending in government and to put it in charge of the richest man on earth, Elon Musk, whose various tech companies have a number of large government contracts. Reporting for Pacifica Radio News KPFA, I'm Christopher Martinez.
Israeli forces appear to have withdrawn from 3 refugee camps in the occupied West Bank after more than a week-long military operation that left dozens dead and a trail of destruction. with destroyed infrastructure. Palestinians compare the Israeli assault to the war in Gaza. Israeli military officials say they were targeting militants in Jenin, Tulkarem, and the El Farah refugee camps. Meanwhile, Palestinian health officials say Israeli forces shot an American woman in the head, killing her as she attended a protest in the West Bank against settlement expansion. That was in the northern West Bank. Israeli media reports the woman is 26-year-old Aysenir Egziyeji, who was born in Turkey and is a U.S. citizen. The federal election interference case against Donald Trump has inched forward. A judge permitted prosecutors to file court documents later this month that could detail unflattering allegations about the former president as a Republican nominee enters the final weeks of his White House bid. The order came hours after a court hearing, the first in the case in nearly a year, in which District Judge Tanya Chutkin sparred with a Trump lawyer who accused the government of trying to rush ahead with an illegitimate indictment in the run-up to the November election. The Justice Department has opened an investigation into 2 California women's prisons that face allegations of sexual abuse at the hands of correctional officers. Federal authorities announced the investigation this week, saying they had significant justification to look into the allegations. Lawsuits have been filed alleging sexual abuse, including rape at the Central California Women's Facility in Chowchilla and the California Institution for Women in Chino. The formal inquiry was sparked by hundreds of private lawsuits over the past 2 years alleging women incarcerated at Chowchilla were raped or otherwise sexually abused. A single lawsuit filed on behalf of 21 women incarcerated at the Chino facility alleges from 2014 to 2020, correctional officers there groped and forcibly raped women inmates, forced them to participate in oral copulation, and threatened them with violence. According to the Justice Department, some of the accused include prison officials who are responsible for handling sexual abuse complaints at the facility. I'm Christina Onnested reporting for Pacifica Radio.